Welcome to Come Get Woo Woo. We're your hosts, Becky and Ro, here to hold space for the unseen, the unspoken, and the deeply felt. This is a place for seekers, for those who sense that there's more, for those who hear between the words, feel beyond the room, and know without knowing why.
Together, we'll explore the language of spirit, the clarity of your clairs, and the signs that rise up when you're ready to notice. You're not imagining it, you're remembering it. This is Come Get Woo Woo.
Have you ever felt that the more you try to control how your dreams unfold, the further away they drift? What if everything you've ever wanted is already waiting for you? It's just waiting for you to believe it's possible. Maybe it's not about getting what you want, but aligning with what's meant for your greatest and highest good. Hey, woo-woo seekers. Welcome back to another episode of Come Get Woo-Woo with Becky and Ro. I'm Becky.
And I'm Ro. Today we're exploring the art of manifestation, not the quick fix kind, but the deeper layers of what it means to set the intention, surrender control, and trust the divine timing. We'll be sharing how this practice has become a sacred rhythm in our lives, blending energy, mindset, and faith in the unseen. Manifestation isn't about demanding the universe to deliver, especially on your timeline, but aligning your energy so what's truly meant for you can find you. We'll be talking about how intention shapes energy, the importance of releasing attachments to outcomes, and yes, we'll be sharing one of our favorite New Year's rituals. So grab your journal or notebook because today is about trusting the process and remembering that you are always manifesting whether you know it or not. So Becky, before we go into what manifestation is and the main laws associated with it, can we go over our ritual that we do? I'm so excited to do it again this year.
I know, and actually the idea of the ritual started last year when we were kind of playing with the whole idea of starting a podcast. And I had actually come across a video. So I can't take credit for this, but we've adapted it and made it our own. And we needed a way to commit to our goals while simultaneously surrendering the outcome. So this is a 10-day burn ritual. It's pretty simple, yet profound. It's harnessing the powerful, energetic reset of the winter solstice with a 10-day practice designed to clarify our goals and supercharge your intentions for the new year. This ritual actually starts before the 21st because what we have to do is some prep work first. That prep work is to write down 10 desires, goals, or dreams. So each goal or dream gets a separate piece of paper and you write down 10 intentions. So things that your soul feels called to experience or create in the new year ahead. Think of it in categories of like love, purpose, health, abundance, creativity, travel, growth, any of those categories, whatever you feel called to. With each piece of paper that you finish, you are going to hold it over your heart and actually visualize it's already manifested. Feel the gratitude, feel the excitement, like it's already yours. And then on the 21st, that is when the ritual starts. So each night leading up to the 31st of the year, you're going to pick up one of your goals at random. What Ro and I did is we actually folded them up and put them in a bowl. And then each morning we'd pick one up, or when we remembered, pick one up, and you're going to place it in a metal bowl or a fireplace or something that you can burn it safely in. You're going to carry this intention, directing it for the universe to take care of. You're narrowing down your choices. The universe gets 9 and you get 1. So this would be on the 31st. You're left with one goal. And that goal that remains is the one you actively and intentionally commit to working towards for the upcoming year. It's carrying both passion and your focus. And you're just setting a goal that you're going to work on this throughout the whole entire year. So I do think it's ironic, and I think it's fitting that the tarot card that is in our December newsletter is actually the Magician. Do you want to explain why that's fitting?
And we didn't do it on purpose.
No.
So the Magician is the ultimate representation of conscious creation and inspired action. He reminds us that all of the tools we need, our thoughts, which are the swords, our feelings, which are the cups, our will is the wands, and our physical actions are the pentacles. So they are all within our reach. And he has them all on his table there. The Magician stands with one arm pointing up to the heavens and the other pointing down to the earth. This gesture represents the principle as above, so below, and is the ultimate expression of the law of assumption, confirming that what you hold as truth in your mind must materialize in your reality. As you clear your energy for the holidays and set intentions for the new year, channel the Magician's active confidence to decisively move from potential into manifestation. If you haven't seen our newsletter, go check it out on comegetwoowoo.com and subscribe. We have a ton of information on our newsletters. So, Becky, do you want to go over what is manifestation?
Yeah. Manifestation at its core is the process of bringing a desired outcome into physical reality, but it's much deeper than positive thinking. It requires aligning an internal state, like your thoughts and your feelings, with the external actions, as if the desired reality is already true. In plain English, it's not just thinking about it, but feeling and acting like it's already true. Like we pretty much did that with this podcast. We knew it was going to happen. And like it flew this whole year because we started planning this a year ago. And this year has just gone so incredibly fast.
It has.
So like I said, manifestation is less about wishing for something to happen or an action for the future, but more about embodying the future now. If you want to manifest confidence, you don't just ask for it, you start feeling and acting like the confident person you want to become. This changes your energetic frequency, making you a vibrational match for the reality you desire. So there are three, the most used and fundamental laws for manifestation are the law of attraction, the law of assumption, and the law of vibrations. Now there are some lesser ones that we'll touch on those, but let's go through this. These are all often combined with the critical concept of inspired action also.
You know, Becky, this reminds me of one of my favorite manifestation stories. Jim Carrey's $10 million check. It's a perfect example of what happens when faith meets aligned action.
Oh, yeah. No, it was something about it. He wrote himself a check before he was famous, wasn't it?
Yeah. In 1985, when he was still struggling, he wrote himself a $10 million check for acting services rendered and dated it for Thanksgiving 1995. He kept it in his wallet as a reminder of what he believed was possible. And years later, right before that date, he got paid $10 million for Dumb and Dumber. He didn't just wish, he became that version of himself who could receive it.
What a great story. I had never heard that story before you talked about it. So thank you, because that's exactly what we're talking about. The first is the law of attraction, which focuses on vibration and magnetism. The idea that like attracts like, or under this law, your primary action is generating high vibrational emotions, which are hopes and excitement, and directing that energy outward. So effectively asking the universe to match your frequency and deliver your desires, such as creating a vision board for the new job while seeking external signs. So this concept actually emerged a late 19th century. It actually was formalized by books like Wallace D. Wattles, I believe, The Science of Getting Rich. That was the book that he published in 1910. But it was actually made a little bit more familiar by the film in the book called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne in 2006. So this basically simplified the law of attraction into 3-step formula. So ask, believe, and receive. The film and the book brought this concept into the global mainstream.
I saw this movie recently.
And I have never seen it. So it's something now on my bucket list.
And Chicken Soup for the Soul. Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
One of the authors was in it, and they put #1 bookseller on their walls before it was popular.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
another great example.
Yeah. Have you heard of Abraham or Esther Hicks?
I've heard the name, but I don't know much about it. So explain.
Abraham is described as a collective of non-physical entities that Esther channels. And together, they help bring the law of attraction into modern conversation. What they really did was give ancient ideas new languages, focusing on emotional alignment as the key to creating your reality.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but okay, so Abraham and Esther Hicks was in the movie, or are they separate?
No, they're separate.
Okay.
It's just when you think of the law of attraction. Esther Hicks and her channel for Abraham is notable.
Thank you for clarifying.
Law of attraction's popularity stems from its promise that you can intentionally attract prosperity, health, and ideal relationships by controlling your mindset. So let's talk about an example for finding love. So the law of attraction, you focus on what you want and match its emotional frequency. For love, you visualize being happy in a fulfilling relationship. You feel gratitude and excitement as if it's already happened, and you align your actions, self-care, socializing, saying yes to new experiences, and to the love energy you're calling in. It's about tuning your inner station to I am loved, not lonely. You start your morning routine where you speak affirmations like I am surrounded by love. You journal about your ideal partner and treat yourself as you'd want them to treat you. Within weeks, you'll notice kinder people, compliments, and potential connections showing up.
You know, that actually reminds me, you're supposed to write down a list of qualities that you want in a partner, right? And so you put it on the top of the piece of paper and you actually write down, I want them to be kind. I want them to be honest. I want, you go through the list. And at the end of the paper, you erase your partner and write yourself, because they actually talk about if you can have these things amongst yourself, that you will attract those same qualities.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah. The second law is the law of assumption, which is rooted in identity and belief. You manifest what you assume to be true about yourself and your reality, with the outside world acting as a mirror. So I think this very much goes with that one that I just talked about, where you're looking for your partner, but you need those qualities first. So under this law, your primary action is to internalize one, and you assume the identity of the person who already has that desire. For example, instead of waiting for a partner, you live as if you were already deeply loved and valued, focusing on internal security and using I am statements to affirm your reality. Most important manifestation practice always involves blending both attraction to raise your vibration and energy with assumption to step into your destined future self. So this concept originated with Neville Goddard. He was a 1900s mystic, and one of the key phrases is, "It's already mine." So this distinction lies in who is doing the work. Attraction focuses on getting the universe to deliver based on your vibration, where assumption focuses on being the person who already possesses the desire, forcing your reality to conform to your inner belief. So part of that is the law of assumption holds the imagination creates reality. So by sustaining this internal feeling of being loved and committed, you compel the external world or the 3D reality to arrange events, people, and circumstances that reflect your unwavering inner sight. So your partner must appear not because you are attracted to them from a distance, but because you assumed their presence into your reality is already there.
Ooh, and part of this is the mental diet. This is the practice of strictly controlling your inner monologue and thoughts, much like dieting controls what you put in your body. What it is, it's the conscious moment by moment monitoring and correction of your thoughts, ensuring they align only with the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. The goal is to prevent negative, self-defeating, or contradictory thoughts from impressing your subconscious mind. Since the law of assumption states your reality reflects your dominant inner state, a constant diet of positive assumptions is necessary. This is how you practice. 1, you become aware of any negative thoughts, like, I'll never get that job. You reject and do not dwell on the thought. Acknowledge it, but don't entertain it. Immediately correct and replace it with an affirmation thought that aligns with your wish fulfilled. Like, I am so grateful for that amazing new job. Neville Goddard taught that you must be as vigilant with your thoughts as you would about food if you were on a strict diet. He emphasized that every thought you allow yourself to dwell upon is an action of creation.
One of the things that I always repeat over and over again is your mind and your body will make your words come true. Another powerful technique, it's called SATS, S-A-T-S. And what it stands for is state akin to sleep. So you know that state that is the drowsy, deeply relaxed state that occurs right before you fall asleep. We've talked about this state before, and immediately upon waking up. So that kind of like I'm not asleep, but yet I am asleep. Your consciousness mind relaxes and your subconscious mind is most receptive to suggestion at this time. The goal is to bypass the critical and often logical conscious mind and impress the subconscious with a short, simple scene that implies your desire as it's already fact. How to practice it is when you get into bed and completely relax your body and your mind, and you're entering that state, and let yourself drift into a heavy, deeply half awake state. And then at this time, mentally construct a brief but vivid scene that occurs after your wish has been filled. So maybe you're creating a scene of getting that new job, and you're going to visualize getting the news of getting that job. This can involve sensory details like hearing a ring, sometimes smelling a new car leather if you're asking for a vehicle. And then you're going to loop that short scene over and over until you feel like it's just natural, like it's a fulfilled wish, or until you naturally drift off to sleep. So Neville's view is he considered SATs the ideal time for focused imagination because the lack of resistance from your subconscious allows the assumed reality and quickly accepted as truth. Both the mental diet, which is active and daily correction, and the SATs, which is positive and focused immersion, work together to ensure your dominant inner state is in that wish fulfilled state.
I'm going to have to try that for sure. Have you ever tried it?
I haven't tried it. That's when I get some of my downloads. I know it's a powerful time to give and receive message, but I've never given messages. I've just received. So it'll be interesting to see if I can start maybe doing a little giving then. Let's see.
Yeah. So in Neville Goddard's world where imagination is creation, you assume the end state is already real and you live from the wish fulfilled, not toward it. You stop hoping from love and start thinking, acting, and feeling as the version of you who already has it. Doubt doesn't matter because the assumption itself becomes the truth. Okay. I have an example for love. So you start by practicing SATs, that state between waking and sleep that you just went over, to imagine yourself already in a loving relationship, feeling your partner's presence, hearing their voice. Then during the day, you keep the mental diet clean. No more inner chatter about being lonely or unlucky in love. You only feed your mind thoughts that match the version of you who is already loved and chosen. Over time, the outer world starts reflecting what your inner world's been saying all along. You rewrite your self-concept. I am in a loving, committed relationship. You talk and you move like it's already been done. Like set an extra coffee cup. Imagine texting your partner. Feel the comfort of being loved. That outer world bends to match your inner identity. So unlike the law of attraction, which suggests that you attract things through vibration, implying separation, the law of assumption states that you are the creator and you simply assume the reality you want is already true. Do you want to go over the law of vibration?
I do. The law of vibration actually originated from the Hermetic laws, which is also called the, and I might butcher this, so I apologize, Kybalion. Like I said, Kybalion. I could have butchered it, but the real heart of the manifestation is your vibration. The energy you are putting out in every moment, every energy, every thought, every emotion, every word, all of those vibrate from a certain frequency. And your emotional state, that's your current vibration. When you're sitting in fear or anxiety or scarcity, you're vibrating at a low frequency. When you're in joy, gratitude, and love, and even authenticity, your vibration rises. That frequency is much higher. That's why when we say manifestation isn't always linear, it's about slowly climbing your way to the better life. It's about making the quantum leap, a sudden shift from I lack to I have. That change happens the moment your energy does. If you're stressing about money, just pause, shift your focus to gratitude for what you do have. And sometimes, keeping a journal, and we keep on saying journal, and I've probably got another notebook that I'm going to have to write out again. I'm going to write down what money has already given you. Maybe it's a meal. Maybe it's a phone that you're listening to this right now. or a warm home. Gratitude instantly anchors you in abundance. If you're stuck in a funk, try a sensory reset. So move your body, even if it's for 60 seconds. Play a song that lifts you up. It's more empowering. Shake out that stagnant energy. Movement changes frequency faster than thought. So if you ever come to a pond when you have those negative thought loops, won't quit, use pattern interrupter. So something physical just snaps you out of it. Sometimes people have a rubber band on their wrist and they just literally snap it out. I've watched many people like that for smoking. If they're trying to quit smoking or if they're trying to remember something, they'll snap it. You can clap your hands. Take a very, very nice deep breath, and then also replace that thought with an I am affirmation. So I am safe, I am abundant, I am loved. Every time that you do that, you're sending a clear message to the universe. This is my new frequency. And the universe always meets you where your frequency is sitting.
Do you have a favorite song that you shake up your energy to?
I do. Well, okay, I have several, but my go-to is Bonnie Raitt's Something to Talk About. I love that song. So that is one of them. I've got several. Do you have one?
Oh, Mony Mony.
Oh, that's a good one. That's such a good one.
So the law of vibration, everything including you vibrates. To attract love, you raise your vibration to match that of love, joy, openness, and compassion. You shift your emotional state deliberately through music, movement, laughter, and gratitude. Love shows up because your frequency becomes a match. You spend your days doing things that make you feel alive, painting, walking in nature, helping others. The more joy you embody, the more people and opportunities for love resonate with you. You literally become a magnet. So the law of vibration teaches that the relationship wasn't attracted to a needy person. It was resonated into existence by a person who had already become the vibrational match for the love they sought.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Would you say that is true of the losing of a person in your life because they no longer match your vibration too? Like you can attract people that are at your vibration, but you can lose people because they're no longer in yours.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Because you lose that connection when your vibrations aren't matching, I think. Do you want to go over how you can rewire your mindset?
Yes, we actually talked briefly about it. So here are some actionable techniques that you can deliberately dismantle beliefs, or you can build a better framework for your abundance. So this is identifying and canceling scarcity thoughts. So the first step, noticing that scarcity mindset is talking. So create a personal cancellation phrase. So whenever your limiting thoughts surface, so like, I can't afford that, it's too good to be true, stop immediately. And this is one of the things for me, I say, I didn't actually mean that. Please don't take me at my word there. I know somebody that actually says cancel, cancel, cancel. So this is some examples is cancel. I'm attracting creative ways to manage my time and feel energized in all the places of my life. That's great. You can absolutely use that, except for that one's too long for me. I would say cancel, cancel, cancel. I didn't actually mean that. Or anytime that you're thinking along the lines of, I don't deserve this kind of luck, I should be struggling more, because you don't feel like you're worthy. So another thing you can actually say, cancel, cancel, cancel. This is my new normal. I am worthy of receiving abundance and ease. This is my new normal. That one's a pretty good one. I actually like that one.
I like this whole cancel thing.
Yeah, even songs, like if you're singing a sad song about how you're not good enough or whatever, you're singing these words out loud. So why wouldn't the universe think that they don't understand that you're just singing a song. They understand you're saying these words. So be careful what you listen to also, as far as music. I have caught myself now being more aware of the lyrics that I'm singing. Then there's the practice of abundant awareness. This is about journaling the law of abundance. So this exercise forces you to focus on the resources you're already possessing and dissolving the feeling of lack. So you're going to dedicate a small journal, and it's going to be more of a standard guideline of gratitude. It's about noticing universal flow. So some examples is going to be the universe provided a free parking spot for you today, right outside the door. That's an unexpected resource that you want to have gratitude towards. Or a friend called you right when you needed the advice. Or somebody was available, like you called your friend and she was available to take your call. You express gratitude for that moment. I kind of do it anyway of like, oh, thank you, and that's just in a practice. I do it all the time now. I highlight some of the more notable ones in my journal, but mostly I'm constantly thanking throughout the whole entire day, and being grateful for what you have. Like I have clean running water, electricity, and reliable internet. Those are all things that we take for granted because there are places that doesn't have them. And, lastly is the abundance of capability and time. So you've finished a task ahead of schedule, and that is what that is. Do you have any more?
I do have something that does both the law of assumption and the law of vibration.
Oh, okay.
So scarcity makes you cling to every penny or resource. Abundance is about giving and expanding the flow. Like once a week, commit to a small, low-stress action that challenge a core scarcity belief about money or time. For example, wasting money, buy a small, high-quality item that brings you joy, a luxury coffee, a beautiful pen, and say, I invest in myself, and the universe repays me tenfold. So if you fear you'll run out of time, take a 15-minute break just to relax in the middle of a busy workday, asserting that your well-being is a necessary resource, not a luxury you must earn. If you fear giving, give a genuine, unsolicited compliment or help a stranger without expecting anything in return, affirming that your well of kindness and support is infinite.
I love these.
Yeah. I do like the unsolicited compliment, like just, oh, I love your hair today or something. I think it just makes the other person, it lifts somebody else up.
Agreed.
And yeah. What were you going to say?
I was just, I love like the fear you're running out of time. And by giving yourself that 15-minute break, like I do this when a client comes in and maybe they're a few minutes late. I have enough time and I'll just take your time, breathe. Just breathe. Because it puts them in more of a calming state, because what I'm doing shouldn't be intense or hurried. You should actually be more relaxing. So yeah, I've done that with clients where, okay, just breathe and then move on.
But have you done it for yourself?
Not as often as I should.
So you have to try.
It'll be something that, again, the more we do all these things, I see things that I can change up in my life to improve it. That's what I like about doing these episodes. I don't need to know everything, but if I can learn one thing every time that we listen to them, that's what I want. So I'll go over some key differences between all of the laws. So you have Yeah. So you have law of attraction. So this is going to be the magnet, right? This forces external delivery. So who's doing the work? That's going to be universe and any external forces that it uses for delivery mechanisms. The core question is, what am I sending out so the universe can match it? So now the law of assumption is the creator. So this is forcing internal state as the sole reality and source. Your imagination or subconscious mind is the active creator. So the core question you're going to be asking is, what version of myself am I being right now? Now, the law of vibration is a little bit different because this is going to be the foundation and bridge. This emphasizes all three. The law of vibration acts as the fuel for both processes. So its role is to be the fundamental principle explaining how the inner state translates to the external reality. It ensures that the emotional qualities of your thoughts or your assumption is high enough to be effective. Do you want to go into a little bit more detail about inspired action?
Oh, I'd love to. On this foundation bridge, so it's like in order to do the law of attraction or the law of assumption, you always have to raise your vibration. Is that what that's saying?
That is, I think, in the most simplest terms, I think that's exactly what it's saying. And we've talked about that 1,000 times. You're low vibration, you're going to get low vibration. High vibration, you're going to attract higher vibration.
And you don't want your vibration to be low and attract low things.
No. Not always great things come from that attraction.
No. Do you know the difference between just wishing for something and actually manifesting it? It comes down to the kind of effort you're putting out. It's what we call inspired action. Forced action is what happens when you're stuck in a scarcity mindset. It's that desperate, I've got to make this happen right now or else energy, that kind of push that usually leads to burnout. So let's say you're trying to manifest a new career. Forced action looks like sending out 50 job applications to places you don't even care about, rewriting your resume for the 10th time, and cold calling everyone you've ever met because you're terrified nothing will work out.
So can I tell you a little story about, okay, of course, right? So Jenna, she just started a job recently, and one of the funniest things happened. So she was sending out resumes because she was perfectly fine with the job that she had. It just wasn't meeting all the things that she wanted to meet, and it was a drive. So she was looking for a different job, any job, and so she threw out all these applications, and then she took a break. And so I laughed because all of a sudden I get a call one day and she goes, "Mom, I got an interview with this company." And she's telling me about the job description and everything about it. So she goes, "Except for I don't ever remember putting a job application in to them." And I'm like, "Really?" And she goes, "No, I looked back and I just don't see anything where I applied anywhere for their company." Guess what, though? Jenna is the perfect fit for this job. And I kept on telling her, I said, just let it flow. I said, take a break for a while and let it flow. It'll come to you. Don't worry about it. And it did.
That's awesome. It's amazing how things work, right?
I know, right? So, all right. Sorry. Continue.
So maybe you're trying to find love. You're going around on endless dates, scrolling through the dating apps every night and convincing yourself you got to keep trying harder. That kind of energy screams fear of being alone, and it pushes away exactly what you're trying to attract. Now, inspired action is completely different. It flows. It feels light and aligned, not forced. It comes from trust and a sense of abundance, that calm little nudge that says this feels right. That new career, maybe you suddenly feel inspired to work on one creative project that lights you up or reach out to one person who feels aligned. That single step can open doors faster than all the frantic job hunting in the world can do. Same thing with money. Forced action might look like taking on 3 draining side hustles or hoarding every dollar in panic. Inspired action might be raising your rates because you know your worth and even decluttering your space to create energetic room for new income. And when it comes to time and balance, forced action is working 12 hours straight just to feel caught up. Inspired action is hearing that quiet inner voice halfway through your to-do list that says stop and breathe. Take a short break, read a book, or sit in stillness. And when you come back, everything flows easier. So the truth here is if it feels hard, heavy, or desperate, it's not aligned. Wait for the lighter nudge, the one that feels natural and effortless. That's your intuition showing the bridge between your inner energy and the reality you're creating.
That actually reminds me, we've talked about the difference between intuition and ego. It kind of very much sounds the same, where the more it's frantic and not calm and not peaceful, it is less likely to be inspired action as opposed to forced action.
Yeah. And we just did an episode on intuition too.
Yeah.
You can always go back and we even have some meditations for it if you want to work on your intuition. Do you want to go over blocks?
Absolutely. I think it's very important that you can't really talk about manifestation without talking about clearing blocks, because that's where most people get stuck. It's not that the universe isn't listening. It's because your energy is sending mixed signals. So one of the biggest blocks is the not feeling worthy. This usually is where it begins. You can say affirmations all day long. But if deep down you don't believe that you deserve what you're asking for, it's like trying to plant a seed in concrete. Never going to work. Okay, it may work because if it slipped through a crack, maybe it finds some ground. But generally, it's not going to work. Those worthiness issues often come from limiting beliefs. The story you picked up early on in life, the money is evil, I don't deserve love, they're usually inherited from family or formed in childhood. One of the easiest ways to bring them to surface is through journaling. We talk about that a lot. Try something simple though, like finishing a sentence. The reason I always struggle with money is because... and keep writing and see if something uncomfortable pops up. Use automatic writing. That's going to find the root belief. Then there's the fear of success, which is really just a self-sabotage in disguise. It's a part of you that says, if I actually get what I want, everything might change. And what if I can't handle it? I've sat in this one a little bit. I've sat in both of them, actually. I don't know about you. You'll notice it through procrastination. Like if you're creating chaos when things start going right, or distracting yourself just when the finish line's in sight. The best way to shift that is what we call identify shifting. Instead of trying to become the version of who's successful, start acting like them now. So if you are manifesting a book deal, but never make time to write, stop asking how to get published and just show up like an author who already has. Sit down, write 2 hours. You own that energy.
That's funny, though.
Why is that?
Well, if you're trying to manifest a book deal, but you don't make time to write the book.
Agreed. And we both know that writing a book is not easy.
No.
Because there's so much detail to it, and you got to make sure that isn't, somebody else doesn't have that idea, and it's so much more difficult. But if you were just to go and write for 2 hours, say a week, and within a month, you've got maybe a few chapters. Then there's the emotional blocks. This is the heavy stuff like guilt, grief, old trauma. Those weigh down your frequency and keep you stuck in a low vibration. This is where forgiveness work comes in. So shadow work helps you integrate the parts of yourself you've been rejecting. And the Ho'oponopono prayer is one of the greatest tools for release. When it's super easy. When you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, you're not just forgiving others, you're clearing the energetic clutter within yourself. That's what raises your vibration back to the alignment that you're calling in.
I really like that prayer.
I think the first time I heard it was when Kelly, who produces a magazine, it's called The Edge magazine. It's a great magazine. Until she was talking about it at a seminar once or a fair once, and I hadn't heard it. And then we found it while we were doing these. So it brought it back and reminded me. And I had never really listened to it. So you're right. I like it. It's simple. It's easy, and it's easy to remember.
Yep. I agree.
Ro, you want to take and tell the listeners about kind of the last layer of all this?
Oh, of course. So the last layer is your environment, because your physical space always mirrors your inner world. If your desk is covered in piles, your inbox is overflowing, or your closet looks like a time capsule from 5 years ago, that's not just clutter. It's energy that's stuck. It's unfinished thoughts, unprocessed emotions, and old versions of you still holding space. When you clear that out, when you finally clean that desk, donate the clothes, or organize that chaotic drawer, you're sending a really clear message to the universe. I'm ready to make room for something new. Decluttering isn't about being tidy for the sake of it. It's an energetic reset. And when you clear those 3 layers, the mental, the emotional, and the physical, you lift the resistance that's been blocking your manifestations. That's when things start to move, not just because you force them to, but because now there's space for them to show up.
I think that makes a lot of sense. You know, when you have clutter, I know I do. When my desk is cluttered, or my table is cluttered, the moment that I actually clear it off, it's like I can think better.
Yeah. And I think I was saying that before we even start. I have all these wires here.
Right.
I got to get rid of them. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yes, we did. So, Ro, there are other universal laws. And I was just thinking that you and I could go over some of those and kind of explain how it relates to this.
Yes. And they're part of the Hermetic laws, right?
Yeah. Hermetic universal laws. So you've got law of action. So this is, you can't manifest without movement. So taking aligned, intuitive steps to ground your intention into physical. So when you feel inspired, a nudge to take a step, that's divine guidance in motion. So manifestation is 80% energy and 20% inspired action. You meet universal halfway.
Ooh, okay.
I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the law, and I think a lot of people know this one, law of cause and effect. So a lot of people call it karma. So every action produces a reaction. So the energy sent out, positive or negative, returns to you in kind. So when your energy is consistent, your results are too. If you plant love, you grow abundance. Same with if you send out negativity, you will receive negativity. This law reminds us that the seeds we plant through our thoughts bloom in our reality. So then we have law of correspondence. So this is your outer world mirrors the inner world. So what you believe inside becomes what you experience outside. Repeating life patterns and reflections of unhealed beliefs or behaviors or energy, that's your reality is your mirror. Change the inside and it reflects the outside change. This is the Hermetic principle from which as above, so below originates. It's about patterns repeating across scales. So the universe mirrors the you and vice versa. Simply put, the patterns of the universe mirror the patterns inside you, and what's inside of you reflects back into the world.
I really like that one.
I do too.
So then we have the law of polarity. Everything has an opposite: light, dark, expansion, contraction. This contrast helps us clarify what we want. So when challenges appear, they're guiding you towards your clarity and growth. Every no moves you closer to the right yes. So that polarity keeps us balanced. Then we have the law of rhythm. Life moves in circles. Energy flows in seasons. Expansion, rest, manifestation, and renewal. When life feels like it's slowing down, you are in a receiving or integration phase. So don't force your bloom. Every nature rests between harvests.
I really like this one because I think this one is something that I forget, that if it's not coming to, it's not because I don't have it, I didn't lose it. It's just a time for rest. And it's a forced rest. And it's about patience. I love it. I'm sorry. Continue.
Then we have the law of inspired belief, or sometimes called faith or perpetual transmutation. Higher energy transforms lower energy. When you shift your mindset and emotional state, your outer reality transforms. When gratitude or love instantly changes your mood, that's energy transmuting. So, Becky, how do you identify what laws you're working with?
Well, I've got a few reminders, we'll say. So you can tell which law is active by what's showing up energetically. So if you're noticing repeating patterns, this is going to be the law of correspondence. If you're getting intuitive nudges, it's the law of action. If you're unfolding a divine timing, this is law of rhythm. And if you're attracting coincidences, it's the law of attraction. If thoughts and feelings instantly change your mood or outcome, this is law of vibration or transmutation.
You've heard about the three most powerful laws: attraction, assumption, and vibration, and learned how to harness the magician's energy to step into your power. Remember, manifestation isn't passive wishing. It's the active, joyful process of aligning your inner world with your boldest external reality. Now it's time to put these tools to use. Take that inspired action that feels light and right. Write that Jim Carrey check, even if it's just a note in your journal, and start living from the feeling that your wish is already fulfilled. The universe isn't holding back a thing. It's waiting for you to get clear and step into the flow. Oh, I love doing this episode, and I can't wait for us to start our 10-day ritual as well.
Yes, I've already started making a list of items that I would like to present to the universe. I thought it was really cool too. This is a good one. I'll have to write my check.
Yes, definitely. What are we doing next week?
So next week, we'll shift into impasse and the holiday season. How to recognize when your energy is being pulled, how to protect your boundaries, and stay centered amid the holiday swirl. And here are the 3 words this week from the Woo Woo Seekers Journal, A Journey for Your Signs and Symbols, Book 1. Disappointment, desert, and chair. So see what rises, see what resonates, and go to @WooWooSeekers on YouTube to listen to our meditations for these words. Go check out our newsletter right now at comegetwoowoo.com. We'll have a ton of information in there, including the full feature on the magician to guide you through this powerful, energetic time. Thank you.
Thanks for getting woo-woo with us today. If something sparked a memory, a message, or just made you smile, share it with a fellow seeker, because the journey is always better when you can grow together. Be sure to find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Woo Woo Seekers, so you can like, follow, and subscribe.
You can also follow us by visiting our website, comegetwoowoo.com. We are so much more than just another podcast. We're building a community of seekers just like us. We love hearing from you. If you've got signs, symbols, or stories that you want to share, email us at woowooseekers@gmail.com. Or any questions about today's episode, you can email us at comegetwoowoo@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and as always, come get woo-woo with us.